count down to 3 when you're ready. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Sparta Mayor Manager Show. I'm Mayor Wes Bruniker. Alongside with me is the Sparta Town Manager, Brian Edwards. Brian, I want to hope you had a good 4th weekend and everything. I know we had a lot of festivities going on, but a lot of weather incidents too. But we made it through.
We did, Mayor, and thank you. And yeah, we balanced it out. Good event on Friday evening with the Music on Main. Nice parade on Saturday. We did have some intermittent rain, actually some pretty serious rain showers a time or two. We had a couple of alarms down at the wastewater treatment plant indicating that a lot of water going through there. But everything worked out great.
And had a great lawnmower race out at the fairgrounds that night too. Big crowd out there.
Yeah, I could hear all of that.
And it was going on. So Sparta was happening this weekend. But we'll go right into what we just had our monthly meeting last week, and it was a short meeting, not a lot going on too much, but we had the Town of Sparta Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. We had a reappointment there, and we're pleased that Alan White got reappointed.
Yes, Alan's been a good member. He served there. He's currently serving as the chairman of that board, so they had asked that he be reappointed, and council did that, and appreciate the good work that those folks do for us.
And we also took a vote there too to go along with our local board there, and the council approved a resolution to opposing the privatization of the liquor sales. Yeah, and I think that's a big statement right there for our town.
It is. There's an effort going on right now with the General Assembly to consider privatizing the ABC system that's been in place in North Carolina for decades. We don't know where that'll shake out in the final analysis, Mayor Bruniker, but our local board did recommend to our council that they do a resolution opposing the privatization. That would keep the system operating as it currently does. And of course the town and the county both receive revenues under the current system. So we don't know how it would work under a privatized system, but I think it's reasonable to assume that the town and the county would not be a part of that new formula in terms of sharing the revenues. So based on that, our council did approve a resolution to oppose privatization of the ABC system.
And no need to change things, as it went well this way all this time anyway. So on another note, we also had a resolution there where we changed, or we dictated the speed limit on the Parkway, and we decided 45 miles an hour is an appropriate speed for our Parkway there.
Yes, and of course that was based on the opening of the new extension of the Parkway. Used to terminate there at Grandview Drive. Now it goes all the way from 21 at Blevins Building Supply all the way down to the 21 at the Crave. So this ordinance that established the speed limit added that new section of road to the existing road, and it's now 45 miles an hour all the way through on the Sparta Parkway.
And again, if you're out and about, you will notice that they are still paving the roads here in Allegheny County throughout, and they've paved that road up there past the gym, not the gym, but the bridge there, right there at the Crave. So, and they'll be working on that bridge here in the next few months coming up too also. So
we actually have a meeting this week with the DOT and the Blue Ridge Electric and Skyline Telephone, all the utility people involved, and it certainly includes the town of Sparta, because we have water and sewer lines that will likely be impacted by any construction going on in that area. So we're meeting Thursday with the DOT folks to kind of hear a preliminary presentation of what's proposed down there.
We had a request from the superintendent, Chad Beasley, to install a guardrail along a portion of Trojan Avenue up there along Sparta Elementary School as you go up towards by the football field there. And Brian, if you want to evaluate on that a little bit.
Well, it was recommended as a safety precaution. There is a playground area that serves Sparta School, and so we are certainly taking a look at that. Council was very favorable for us to evaluate that situation. Have not had a chance to talk to the superintendent since our meeting. He's been on vacation, but I'll be getting with him. I have contacted the DOT folks to find out from them about a recommended vendor where we might purchase that guardrail and perhaps even have it installed. We're going to have to look into what the requirements are. I think the town maintenance crew likely could install it, but we need to find out if there are particular certifications that might be required for guardrail installation, and if there might be any liability issues. So we're looking into that, and we'll certainly be working with the school and the county to address that safety concern.
And safety for our kids, of course, is our number one
Yeah.
priority in all forms of government, is the safety of the citizens and everything. So we have our waterline replacement streetscape project that's continuing to move right along, and we're inching very, very close to the very, very beginning of this thing.
We are. Not a lot of change since last month, because we are in the phase right now of finalizing contract documents, insurance and bonds by the contractor. Everything is moving, I think, according to a reasonable schedule. And at this point, we still would anticipate having meetings with our contractor and a notice to proceed, hopefully by the end of July. And the next time we meet, maybe we can be talking about a construction schedule and a start date for that project.
So we have that going on, and I kind of want to jump ahead right here a little bit. We had Donnie McCall come to our meeting there, and he had a demonstration of the way our new website was going to look, and he's doing a good job on that too. All the information, and we're going to put a schedule up of the construction there. It'll be on the website, townofsparta.org.
Right.
So we're going to give you as much information as we possibly can at every opportunity. But you know, Donnie done a real good job there promoting our website.
I think we're going to see a more interactive web page where you can easily transition through that from one aspect of it or one link to another. And there will be a special area there dedicated to the Downtown Streetscape project, where we will regularly update the schedule. Merchants and citizens will be able to log onto that website and see exactly where the current construction schedule is, and over the next several days what might be planned for that area. So I think that's going to be a very informative and helpful tool for the town as we work through our streetscape project.
I agree, and we'll be giving out information here on our show as well, and at the town council meetings, the first Tuesday of every month, of course, is our town meetings, and we'll be giving out to you, the public, as much information and showing you our progress, where we're going to be at, so it doesn't affect you too awful much right there.
Well, along that same line, the Allegheny News has been very supportive, and they have said they will be doing regular updates in the newspaper about where the current construction schedule is. So I think we're going to see good cooperation throughout the community here, and we're going to be making sure that we support our merchants, that we continue through this time of construction, that we support our local merchants, and they're going to need all the support they can get to work through this.
So we're moving right along there with that, and speaking of moving along, that crew that we had working over here at Crestview doing that booster pump project there, they've got that main line connected under the road there on 18, and them guys have really done a super job.
They have. Lock Lane Construction out of Stony Point, North Carolina, and we are just extremely pleased. They have currently right now stopped work on that project because they're at a holding point. We've got a prefab building that's on order that will house the booster pump station, and that we're still a couple of weeks out on that building arriving, and so until that is on site, there won't be any construction going on for the short term. When we made the tap in to the main line on Highway 18, we did experience some pressure changes for some residents, primarily in the Greenacre subdivision, and there were 4 or 5 instances there where the pressure changed enough that it blew off on the hot water heater. We had a couple of meters where out in the yard area where the old galvanized joints had been there probably for 40 or 50 years, and the pressure change did cause some leaking at those areas. I believe all that's been addressed. If anybody listening to this show, if you had an issue there that you need more information on, please feel free to give me a call at the town office. But one thing I would want to emphasize, Mayor, every residence should have a pressure reducing valve on their line between the meter and the house, or it could be inside the house. But when that water line, when the water leaves the meter, it's the homeowner's responsibility from that point, and anything inside the house is the homeowner's responsibility. The town has no way of regulating the pressure to individual residences or businesses. The only way to regulate that pressure inside your home is with a pressure reducing valve. Those, and I feel very confident that most homes have those installed, but you need to check with a local plumber. If you do not have a pressure reducing valve, then that is a good safety measure for you, because if the pressure does fluctuate, this will protect your appliances and your structure inside. If you have a finished basement, for example, a carpet down there, and water, it comes out of your hot water heater and causes a problem there. So, but it is the homeowner's responsibility to have that pressure reducing valve. And I would liken it a little bit to this. If you have a furnace in your home and you don't have a thermostat, then that furnace is either off or on. There's no regulating of the temperature between warm and hot and cold. The pressure reducing valve serves the same kind of function in your home. The water is being delivered to the house by the town, and the pressure reducing valve allows you as the homeowner to regulate the amount of pressure that's being delivered through your faucets, through your toilets, and into the hot water heater. So if you've got more questions about the pressure reducing valve, we're certainly happy to work with you and answer those questions. But the important point is to remember, that's not the responsibility of the town. That is a homeowner's responsibility.
And they can pick up those valves at any hardware store.
They can get them at Blevins Building Supply. They're available at Lowe's. In fact, I've got a picture here of one. It's $56. This is a typical residential pressure reducing valve, and for $56, that would be the cost of that, plus the cost of the installation.
So we encourage each of you out there that's in the town limits right there around Green Acres and so on and so forth, and anywhere into town, because the water pressure is really this is going to be a full circuit now. This is our last link in the circuit right here of getting it all done.
And to that point, this is actually accomplishing something that we wanted to see. We wanted to see improved water pressures and improved flow for safety and fire protection purposes. So this new installation of this connection that we made is actually accomplishing the purpose that we intended. So even though it may be disruptive in some cases, one other thing I'll mention about the pressure reducing valve, they can be maintained, so a plumber can take those apart, they can clean the screens, they can do adjustments on it. So you may have an old one there that is just not functioning properly, and maybe all it needs is to be taken apart and cleaned, which you would need a plumber to do that. Unless you have some experience with that, that would be a service call.
And again, we're staying right with water, and which is a big thing in a town, a municipality. We have redone the Magnolia water tank, and another good job by another good crew over there. Just a fabulous work to upgrade that water tank up there.
Yeah, it was. If you noticed recently, we were seeing a lot of rust and scaling of the paint. That tank had been there for 20 years. And in the last 3 or 4, we had noticed a pretty significant deterioration of the exterior of the tank. And reasonably expectation, there was some deterioration on the interior as well. So that tank has been completely refurbished inside and out, and it looks like a shiny new nickel over there now, Mayor Prentiger, and something we're very proud of, to have that tank installed, refurbished. And I'll say credit to the construction crew and to Andy Blevins, who coordinated that. No disruptions whatsoever with the operation. Magnolia Manufacturing, they run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it was very important to us that we not have an interruption or disruption to their water service, and we were able to accomplish this renovation, repair of the refurbishing, I guess is the right word, of that water tank with no interruption or disruption to their service.
And I'd like to give a special shout out to our maintenance guys who are, whenever there is a water leak anywhere in town, our guys are getting on that as quick as they can, and they do a great job of getting it fixed and limiting the time of inconvenience for our customers.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, and you're exactly right. They do a good job in responding, and same with any kind of sewer issues.
Absolutely.
That is the #1 priority for our town maintenance crew. If there's an issue with a sewer line, a backup, interruption of services, we are on that very quickly to make sure that we minimize any disruption to a residential or a business enterprise.
We do have an upcoming joint meeting with the county commissioners coming up at the end of the month on July 29th. I believe that meeting is scheduled at 6:30 down in the county commissioners room, and everybody's invited to attend that. but we also have some more upcoming events. We'll have the 2021 Road Market, 3 days of that coming up on the 26th, 27th, and 28th. Looking forward to that. It always brings a lot of folks into our community. And then, of course, as we enter August, you're going to have the Demolition Derby returning to the fairgrounds on August the 3rd. One of my favorite events out there. Mikey Polier does a great job of organizing that, brings a big crowd here to Allegheny. And then Music on Main, of course, will be on August the 2nd.
That's right.
So we'll have another Music on Main. And Garrison, of course, he's been fighting the weather the last 2 times,
Right.
so we hope we get some good weather here on August 2nd.
He certainly deserves a break. Actually, this past Friday night, it worked out okay. We did have to make some adjustments, last-minute adjustments, because the weather was so uncertain. But all things said, it turned out fine, had a good crowd, good support, and we appreciate folks turning out and supporting the Friday Music on Main event.
Absolutely, and you know, we're trying to get something else back too, is the Allegheny County Agricultural Fair.
Right.
And I'm going to let you elaborate on that as we wind this thing up. Pumpkin Festival coming up, and a couple other events, and Lord, I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff going on
a lot
here
of good
in
things
Sparta and
happening.
Allegheny.
Well, we are hearing now that the Allegheny Agricultural Advisory Committee is making an effort to reinstate the Allegheny County Fair. And I think that's good news for us. And this year it's going to be coordinated with the Pumpkin Festival. That had already been a fair amount of discussion going on about the Pumpkin Festival. So with that group and the Allegheny County Agricultural Advisory Committee, we are looking forward to a nice event out at the Higgins Fairground to celebrate the fall season.
And Brian, we do have a special event coming up here this month right here, and it's coming up very rapidly, and that is the annual Allegheny Fiddlers Convention that is brought on by our Sparta Allegheny Volunteer Fire Department. And what a great job they do also.
They surely do, and that's always such a great event. A lot of folks come and camp. They actually stay several days. Some come early, and they really enjoy that. And not only is the main show, but behind the scenes is pretty entertaining too, Mayor.
And they do a great job, and have actually added on some more camping spaces out there this year. So bring your camper, come on up to the fairgrounds, and enjoy the Allegheny County Fiddlers Convention. 2 other events that we just want to throw out there at you. 25 years of Mountain Heritage Festival coming up this year. That'll be in September. And then the 25th anniversary of the annual Comedy and Variety Hillbilly Show. One of my favorite things, again, that I like to participate in, and 25 years of trying to make people laugh, right, Brian? And,
well, you've done a good job.
You know,
in fact,
so.
ACTV just featured over the last several days interviews with Agnes Jones, Helen Krause, Gene Osborne, Bobby and Gary Pleer, talking about doing some reminiscing, and had some nice shots of earlier years and all the good times that have gone on with this Hillbilly Show. And Mayor Brinegar, you do a great job of helping to host and MC that program, and we appreciate what you do in that respect.
Just have us a good old time here in Sparta and Allegheny County. And Brian, if there's anything else that you got to throw out there for the folks?
No, sir. I believe that's it.
Well, we want to encourage you to come to our next town council meeting, again, the first Tuesday in August. The public is always welcome, so we'll have some more stuff to talk about in August, and hopefully we'll be talking about streetscape and getting ready to get it underway, folks. For Brian Edwards, the town manager of Sparta, I'm the mayor of Sparta, Wes Brinegar. We'll see you next time here on Allegheny Community TV.
Thank you.